Blood was everywhere, you know what I mean? It was on the pavement, on my daughter's brand new white sneakers, smeared in the curls I used to brush every morning before school. That night in Baltimore, the world as I knew it ended behind the dumpsters of Millwood High, where my 16-year-old, Belle Carter, lay crumpled and motionless, just a kid, her breath barely there, her lips whispering things no one could make out. Her face was so swollen, I barely recognized her. Her arm? Bent at some angle that no human arm should ever be. People were screaming, phones out, the kind of chaos that never really feels real until you're living it. "What the hell is wrong with y'all?" someone shouted. I remember thinking, yeah, what the hell is wrong with this world? But Belle didn't move. Not a twitch. A teacher, Mr. Patel, pushed through, checked her pulse, and said, "She's not responsive. Call 911 now." That's when the story became mine, because across town, my phone rang. And kept ringing. I was sitting in my law office above an old, dusty bookstore, trying to forget about the world outside. My name's Camille Carter, by the way. You probably know it by now. But back then, I hadn't stepped foot in a courtroom for years, not since Afghanistan. Not since I rebuilt a life for Belle and me that was supposed to be safe, you know? But when the call came, I didn't even say goodbye. Just slammed the door and ran. Seeing Belle in the ICU, I didn't cry. Didn't scream. I just stared at my little girl pale against the sheets, her left eye swollen shut. A machine ticking away near her head, cold and steady. "Closed head trauma," the nurse said. "Possible brain swelling. She's in a medically induced coma for now." There was a female cop outside the door. I walked up, calm as stone. "Were you one of them?" She shook her head, looked away. That's when something broke inside, may a piece I'd buried for 8 years, finally waking up. That night, I dragged my old duffel out from the back of my closet. My flight suit still smelled like desert sand and jet fuel. There was my patch ghost. Not many in Baltimore knew I was once a fighter pilot. Fewer knew what I did for the Pentagon. But those cops who put my daughter in a coma, they picked the wrong mother. The next morning, I marched straight into the precinct, unannounced, heels sharp on linoleum, making every officer's head turn. "Call your captain," I said. "Tell him Camille Carter is here." 5 minutes later, Captain Drew Hastings appeared, face stiff. "Didn't think I'd see you again." I said, "You shouldn't have to, but your men put my kid in the ICU yesterday." He tried to play it cool, said they were still collecting body cam footage. I just smiled. "I've already seen it." His face dropped. "You've got 48 hours. I want the names of everyone involved, their histories, their internal complaints, and I want to know why she was stopped in the first place." "You don't. I'll show you what a woman with clearance and nothing to lose looks like." That night, I tracked down Marcus Hale, ex-military intelligence, now a private contractor. "I need everything you can find on these badge numbers," I said. Marcus skimmed the files. "You're planning to take them to court?" "No, I'm planning to take them apart." By morning, the department was buzzing. I built a digital trail, old misconduct reports, profiling stats, whistleblower tips. Belle was still unconscious, but until she could speak for herself, I would be her voice, her sword, her vengeance. The dirt I dug up worse than I imagined. Brent Talbot, Raymond Kinney complaints for excessive force, racial profiling, harassment, all buried or dismissed. That rot, deep and quiet, more dangerous than any battlefield I'd flown over. So I called in a favor from the DOJ, Dana Mallister. She flipped through the files, cursed under her breath. "Talbot still on the street? I flagged him 5 years ago. And you buried it?" I tried to stop it. "The DA buried it." "That's how this game works," she said. "You're playing with fire." I just smiled. "I'm fine with fire." Then came the first twist. A nurse, Janessa, nervous, said she'd seen Belle brought in. "They laughed," she whispered. "Said she was lucky they didn't finish the job." I handed her a number. "Whistleblower protection. You'll be safe." I was building my case piece by piece. And that's when Otis Walker walked back into my life, old Army buddy, now security consultant for people with problems too big for cops. "You're back in it," he said. "Never really left." "You don't just need proof," Otis told me. "You need a war chest, public support, something they can't spin." So I went public. Sat in front of a black backdrop, told America, "I'm Camille Carter, former combat pilot, proud mother, My daughter was beaten into a coma by 2 officers. I want justice. The video blew up. Million views overnight. My face was everywhere: news, feeds, talk shows. Baltimore burned with outrage. Protesters outside the precinct. Hashtags trending. Inside the department, Talbot and Kenny tried to hide, but the evidence started leaking: body cam footage, internal emails, even a sealed report from a whistleblower, Officer Ree, who broke his NDA to testify in court. It was standard procedure, he said. Quota systems, racial slurs, use of force, all greenlit from the top. But I had my own past to face: an old scandal, a sealed record, a name change after a wrongful conviction case blew up. They tried to use it to bury me, but I beat them to the punch. Stood at a press conference, laid it all bare. Yes, I changed my name. Yes, I made mistakes. But none of that changes what they did to my daughter. My vulnerability became my shield. Then came the final showdown. Feds raided the department, snatched up shredded files, hard drives, evidence of everything from bribe judges to doctored medical reports. They tried to alter Belle's records to cover up her injuries. I got there first, had the forensic expert confirm blunt force trauma. She was beaten, not sick. Suddenly, every mother, every family who'd lost a child, reached out. The city caught fire. The mayor promised reforms. Federal supervision. Dozens of officers fired or indicted. And then, one night, sitting by Belle's bed, her hand twitched. Her eyes fluttered open. She was alive. The press called me a hero. They call me dangerous. But I was just a mother who refused to stay silent. In the end, I stood on the city hall, stage Belle's photo behind me, surrounded by names of others wronged by the system. I didn't plan to become a symbol, I said. But when they tried to bury my daughter's voice, they woke up something bigger. Tonight, this is about every family, every injustice swept away. We're not just fighting back. We're rebuilding. Thunderous applause. Maybe too soon for happy endings. Corruption never dies easy. But for the first time, we weren't alone. So now, I ask you, where do you stand? Was this justice? Did we go too far? Or not far enough? Drop your thoughts below. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. And keep these voices roaring, because justice doesn't whisper. It fights back.